continues, "Hear another parable. There was a certain householder." Mark, "And he began to speak to them by parables." Luke, "Then began he to speak to the people this parable." The first parable here, he was clearly talking to the Jews, or the scribes and the Pharisees. I mean, that's what he said. Publicans and harlots believed him, and you, who had seen it, repented not afterwards that you might believe him. So he's not speaking to all the people, because there are a bunch of people there who did honor John and believe him. So I want to go with how Luke says, "Then began he to speak to the people." So I'm going to leave out and go with then. So this is Luke only. Then began he. Mark has he began. I'll go with he began to speak to the people instead of just them. This parable. Mark by parables. And Matthew says, "Hear another parable." So I'm going to do that. Hear another parable. But he's talking to the people now. Matthew only. Hear another. And the word parable is in all three. Well, parables in Luke. Parables is in Mark, plural. So I'll just say it's Matthew and Luke. Parable. Matthew continues, "There was a certain householder." Mark, "A certain man planted a vineyard and hedged about it." So it doesn't mention that he's a householder. Luke, "A certain man planted a vineyard and let it out to husbandmen." There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard. Okay, the fact that he's a householder is more important than just saying a certain man. He sent his servants. There. It shows he's a man. So I'm going to definitely put householder. There was a certain. That's all from Matthew. A is all three. Certain is Matthew and Luke. Matthew by itself again. Householder. Which. Now all three. Planted a vineyard. Luke continues, "And led it forth to husbandmen." Mark, "And set a hedge about it, and dug a place for the wine fat, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen." So there's a lot of stuff added in Mark. Matthew, "And hedged it round about, and digged a wine press in it, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen." So Matthew and Mark have extra. And hedged it round about. Mark, "And set a hedge about it." Do you set a hedge or do you hedge? I'm going to put set a hedge instead of hedged. And is both. Mark, set a. Now, I'm not going to say hedge is both because there's the added D at the end in Matthew, and I'm not saying that here. So just Mark, hedge, about it. Matthew has hedged it round about. So I will say the it is both, but round is Matthew only. About is both. The word it is in italics in Mark, so I'll say it's only Matthew. Matthew continues, "And digged a wine press in it." Mark, "And dug a place for the wine fat." I like dug more than digged. The words "a place for" are all in italics in Mark, so it would just be "and dug the wine fat." And dug a wine press in it. Yeah, wine fat. That doesn't even seem like a real word. I'm going to go with pretty much the way Matthew has the verse, "and digged a wine press in it," but I'm going to exchange digged for dug. "And built a tower." Now, and led it out to husbandmen. And led it out to husbandmen. Luke, and led it forth to husbandmen. Well, I'll just go with the majority witness, out. And let it out to husbandmen. And went into a far country. Luke adds, for a long time.